Griffmas in July rolls on with Tippy-Tap number 43. Don't be confused, people. We're in the bizarro world this month. I'm taking Griff's role. He's taking my role.
That's right.
You're supposed to be slurping on a drink or something,
Yeah,
right? No, don't slurp on mine.
I did reach for yours.
Any peaches?
Yeah, I got my peaches. I got my peaches right up.
So you've already. It's off to a great start. You've enjoyed the Corey Dean Anderson episode of
That's right.
Forced to Kill.
Forced to Kill.
If you listen, that joke is hilarious.
That was a good joke. We threw a lot of names in there. He's got a very forgettable face, very forgettable movie, very forgettable action choreography.
Very memorable episode, though. How does that work out?
It's something about the way we do things.
Yeah,
Just makes
it's
it
called
work.
genius.
Genius. Very stable.
I'm still calling for the Golan-Globus cut of Darkman.
I'm waiting for
Release that.
Release the vote. I mean, the Darkman episode.
Right, not the Kraken.
Yeah, don't release the Kraken. Put her back in the jar.
How do you know the Kraken's a girl?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Sidney Powell.
No.
Okay.
I was not. I was talking about the Kraken.
I think the Kraken is a woman, though.
No, you know why? You've never seen Clash of Titans because they gave. Well,
I
I know the Kraken could have been a lesbian because lesbians came from Greek island of Lesbos. You might be onto something. But no, we're on MacGyver. MacGyver, Griff. Was this our first? I can't tell. I can't remember if our first Tippy-Tap was MacGyver or Walker.
Yeah, we've been going over this.
We could just look, but no, we're not going to do that.
We would never look.
Mattingly, get into that.
Get back to us before this episode's over in 9 days.
Like everybody knows, it's Griffmas in July. You formatted this month, Griff. Why did you pick this episode of MacGyver?
Murray, can I take you back?
Yeah.
Okay. There's baby boy Griff, ripe age of I think 13.
You identified as a boy even back as a baby. You still weren't confused.
As far as I knew,
did your father push that gender onto you?
No.
Okay. You chose. You said as a baby, you said, I choose to be a man-child.
Well, as you know, I've shown you...
And you've been a man-child your whole life.
I showed you the picture of me at 7 years of age. When I saw Jean-Claude Van Damme, I said, I'm that. I'm identifying as that. And that's when I got the hoop earring.
Yeah.
And so I didn't realize man, boy. I didn't realize what I was. I just knew I was Jean-Claude Van Damme. And it just turned out he was a man. And it turned out I grew up with that tackle box. So... Okay. I understood myself to be a man early on.
Well, MacGyver.
So there I was, sweet baby boy Griff, 13, 14 years old, and I had to go in and get braces. And I was the third in line to get braces.
What did your teeth look like before?
You don't want to know, brother.
Oh.
Yeah, all over the place.
Looked like inside of a cave.
Inside of a cave. And then
stalagmites, all over the place.
All over the place.
Your bat's coming out his mouth, people.
Oh, man. Toss a scallop and scramble. Oh, my God.
You can't even say toss salad and scrambled eggs. His teeth still fucked.
This day is too much for us.
This has been an awful week. Yeah.
This is coming out a few weeks later, but still, fucking week. Yeah. Not happening for us. So we're going to biting down the hatches and get through this shit.
Biting down the hatches.
Isn't that what they say?
Not at all.
Hoisting down the hatches?
You bite the bullet and you batten down the hatches.
Batten down the hatches. Okay. Murray, I had to go in and get the braces, and at the time, I just so happened to fall in love with MacGyver. And the first season of MacGyver happened to come out on DVD. So when my older brother and younger sister had done their braces, they both got a gift. And so my mom said, you can have anything you want. And I said,
the Hageman family has awful teeth, what you're telling me. So you all need braces.
We did, but now we all have beautiful teeth.
Well, some do.
I have thousands of dollars invested in my teeth. Mostly because I fucked them up.
You need to get your money back. But anyway, MacGyver.
So I said, I don't want a video game. I don't want a fancy dinner. I want the first season of MacGyver on DVD. And I got that.
Who wanted a fancy dinner?
I don't know. I'm just saying. That's where my mind went immediately. I was like, take me to Best Buy. Take me to Media Play. Take me to, what's that other one?
Circuit City?
Take me to Circuit City.
They sucked.
Yeah, they did. I used to work for them, kind of. And I'm getting that first season of MacGyver. And I went home, and I was in agony, but I was loving my MacGyver. And this episode, my friends, I live so close to the high school.
Have you gotten your wisdom teeth taken out?
No, they're not coming out in that way where, yeah. Okay. So, I actually would bring people over to my house to watch this episode we watched specifically. I just really enjoy this episode. Is it awful? Am I wrong? Is this my nostalgia fog?
I wouldn't call it awful.
Am I having MacGyver fog?
You might be in the...
I'm a little bit.
The MacGyver fog. It wasn't awful.
Yeah.
But it wasn't... There's nothing stand out. I mean, there's a lot of familiar... If you are a Golan-Globus theater fan, there's a lot of familiar faces in this episode. A lot of people popped up in episodes we've done previously.
Right.
But it didn't... I don't know. It's just... to me, it just... This is the second MacGyver episode I've ever seen. The first being the Bigfoot episode.
Yeah.
So it just felt kind of... there.
Did this one feel more clever to you? Because
yeah,
the Bigfoot
he leaned more into the whole premise of him making. What was there a pattern to it? Like, did he have to do at least 3 things every episode of him inventing shit?
I'd have to go back and rewatch it because I don't think there ever was. It seemed like the idea of MacGyver.
He had to do at least once every episode, right?
Yeah, once for sure. But I don't think there was any criteria. I don't think they did that many. Like in this episode, he does at least 2 different things, but he's always devising plans, and that's what it's supposed to be. Even though his depiction, like in MacGruber and everything, is that he's always putting something together, and it's usually just thinking of clever ways to get out of problems. And that's
using his brain instead of his brawn.
Exactly, because he's not very physically fit, and he's always covering it up, Seagal style. He's got the overbearing jacket, and then he's got, a long sleeve shirt. Always wearing pants. Like I don't think I've ever seen MacGyver in shorts.
Never seen his calves.
I've never seen his calves.
How about his ankles?
Never. Not even in Wait, what's that? Stargate. Not even in Stargate did I see Henry Dean Eubanks Staten.
That's suspect.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot about a man from his ankles.
That's true.
That's fucking seeing right now.
Come on, let's not talk about that. It's supposed to be Griffmas in July.
Yeah. Well, you're wearing sandals.
Oh, I just want to throw you off your game because you keep throwing me off my game.
It worked.
But I'm glad this episode at least had a little bit more cleverness, so you can see.
Well, it was the first season, so I bet the first season every one had like 5,000, Then they blew their load. Like everyone's like, who has to write for MacGyver's like, fuck, I just got a gig at MacGyver. Now I got to come up with 3 fucking things he can do. He can make shit for him. And they were like, they didn't want to put all the pressure on everybody. So just come up with one.
Yeah, just come up with one, or don't even come up with anything.
Produced by Henry Winkler.
Yep, Henry Winkler, big part of
this.
this.
The man has so much talent.
He really does. When you were jamming out to the theme song, and you were doing the air keyboard and everything, I could just imagine Winkler. I could imagine Winkler in the studio just loving it.
You think he wrote it?
No, I think he was there, standing over, massaging the man, writing it, and was like, "Oh, that's it. That is it."
That sounds like a Wink move.
Yeah, exactly. I love the Wink.
Yeah.
Gave up the Fonz to be one of the greatest EPs.
Give me Wink.
You ain't getting that twink. You're getting the Wink. But yeah, let's just get in this because we're going to run out of gas here in a minute.
Yeah, we're going to do that. MacGyver.
Every episode starts out this way. MacGyver gives you a 1, 2, 3 sentence description of the thing he's going to do and why it's like, why he's doing it. And so in this episode, he's looking for a fishing hole his dad showed him. What happened to his dad? Let's not talk about it.
It's a very Lynchian fishing hole, though, because it teleports from place to place.
Exactly. He was doing a lot.
Wasn't it the desert? Where's this fishing hole in the desert?
That's exactly what I was thinking. They're in the middle of the fucking desert. They're in Hitcher World right now.
Right.
If you recognize Nielsen's Flight School, it's because you saw it in the Hitcher.
Right.
That also
the deleted scene where the Hitcher.
The Hitcher.
He flew a plane. I remember that. He hitched right on a plane. That would be a great sequel where he hitches rides on planes.
I like it.
Dude, God damn it, Rucker Howard, why'd you have to die?
And, of course, MacGyver just, again, metaphors, thanks to Murray. He sat down with the chalkboard after our beautiful Excalibur episode and explained metaphors.
I explained pussy fog and then metaphors.
Yep.
And that's great because pussy fog is a metaphor.
Exactly. And when you told me that.
2 with 1.
I was like, how can 2 things be the same thing, Murray? How?
You're welcome.
You got out the nesting dolls, and you showed me how you can nest things under things. You explained hierarchies to me. You're the greatest teacher of all time.
I agree.
So MacGyver gets to these crossroads, and he's like, the funniest thing about my life...
Did he play guitar with Robert Johnson?
He did not.
Or Satan?
No, he did not. He didn't have that kind of crossroads.
That's our next movie, Crossroads with Ralph Macchio.
Crossroads, the Britney Spears movie?
No, Crossroads with Ralph Macchio, where they did, like, the Robert Johnson, I think it was the blues guy, where they say he learned, he sold his soul to the devil, learned to play. That's the premise of this, but it's Ralph Macchio.
Oh,
The guy, when you think about blues, Ralph Macchio
comes to my head.
Ralph Michael Macchio.
Ralph Michael Macchio. People are going to be sick of hearing us trying to come up with names and extending people's names out forever.
Well, yeah, it's fucking hard.
It is really fucking hard. I don't know why it's so hard. It just is.
Well, I'm trying to come up with actors that have 3 names.
Right. I'm trying to think of just any names because I want to get over the speed bump of thinking of it and, like, land the landing. But no, I Top Gun it every time and I fucking crash and burn. Anyways. So Matt comes to the crossroads. No biggie. I'm always coming to crossroads. I bring my knocks. So he's got one destination because, of course, there's like the wooden hand-painted sign there.
Of course.
Live, laugh, love. Town this way, 2 miles. Fishing hole this way, 4,000 miles away. So he's like, well, of course I'm going to go to the town that's right there.
Right. Need to stock up.
Yeah, he's got to get a frittata.
You gotta get the frittata.
You got a frittata.
I hope we're getting that word right.
We're not.
Because we were using it so much.
We're not.
People are like, what are they talking about?
I'm pretty sure a frittata is the open-faced taco. I'm 99% sure that's what it is.
Right.
But it can be a breakfast taco.
Well, you've all guys already listened to it. You're still cracking up about
That's
it.
right.
You're like, God, those guys are retarded. So he's got a frittata.
He finds the Nielsen Flight School, of course, like we said, on Hitcher Road.
It's very reminiscent of the show Wings. There's a little diner there.
Yep, that too. And as he's walking up, there's just this evil-looking dude sneering at him.
I recognize this guy, and you should too if you're a Golan-Globus theater fan. He is the villain, the Dennis Miller of evil from the classic Shokazugi movie, Rage of Honor.
Yep. And he's got cowboy boots with jeans tucked into them. He's got the red bandana.
Terrorist scarf on his neck.
He's standing he's like got his hip against the side of a building and he's hiding one arm and he's sipping a beer and he's just sneering over at MacGyver.
He's mean mugging him.
Yeah, he's mean mugging him. Come on. Did you like his tone that he had? It was kind of soft and
look, babe.
Yeah, it was very Dennis Miller, like you said. Yeah, look, babe.
Sorry, I don't have any obscure reference. I would throw out a Dennis Miller obscure reference.
Well, he doesn't have any jokes, and that's why he's a loser.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. Look, babe, why don't you go inside and have yourself a frittata? You probably don't even know about the tata.
Release the Kraken, babe, and get a frittata for it.
So Mac is he kind of nods along, heads inside, and Mac can read a room. And he hears a man playing pinball, but he's not playing pinball with his heart.
Was it a kiss pinball?
It was not a kiss pinball. It was some
Ginty
kind
was
of
nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, it was some kind of weird sci-fi pinball machine. But like when you walk into the Tommy movie, Tommy's so good because he plays with his heart. That's how he's so mean at it. But Mac is able to walk in, assess this man is playing pinball with his wrists, and that's not how you play. And he's like, everything is off about this scene. And he sits down. Hey, beautiful waitress, I will go ahead and respectfully ask you for a free tata with the salsa.
Free your tatas and cook me a frittata.
Yeah, and a coffee, please.
Once again, you recognize you're a G&G fan. We recognize Kelly, the character's name. It's Kay Lenz, who played the much younger love interest for Charles Bronson in the classic Death Wish for the Crackdown.
Which we've already done. Go look it up.
Yep. With Stewart.
Right. Stewart. Hope he's doing well. And, so he's walking it. How close was I to Sparrow Lake? Oh, it's right there. It's like right over that hill there. You almost got it. And, Mac sits down for his coffee.
Because there's a guy, a mysterious guy, shifty-looking guy, who's like, we're closed.
The guy was playing pinball.
He's like, we're closed.
Yeah.
For renovations. And he's like, well, can I just get... But he notices that she's pouring some coffee from one of the goons.
Yeah.
She's like, well, can I have a cup of coffee?
Let me get that coffee.
I love my coffee.
Yeah, I gotta have my coffee. I can't start my day without my coffee. I'll be in a bad mood.
And so she's like, yeah, you can have coffee. She pours him a nice hot cup of Joe.
Oh, it's so hot.
Java.
Yeah. She's trying to work out some smoke signals with the steam coming off of it. Yeah, it's not working.
Yeah, she actually was one of the first people to do the thing with the foam. But
the milk.
Yeah.
It was a good milk pour she had there.
So he takes a nice big swig of that coffee, and he sees it says help on the inside in like lipstick or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to clean these fucking mugs.
And Terry, just sitting down like 2 seats over.
Terry, the guy that was playing pinball.
Pinball, yep. He starts calling over to the chef. Hey, get this. Chef's name, Tennyson. Isn't that the perfect name for a line cook? Where's my frittata?
And I'm like, no, what is he talking about?
Yeah, I didn't get this either.
Tennyson was a poet.
Tennyson was a poet. And, of course, the street of one legend.
Yeah, legendary street. And
that's when Buddy from outside. That was our...
Yeah, great, what a terrifying name. Terry, Buddy, and Elias. The evil and Turk. Yeah, he comes in and is like, let me have a little drink of that. Yeah. I like it. Is that fresh roasted?
Oh, fresh ground?
He's like,
beautifully brewed.
Is this Folgers?
Is that a pour?
Sanka? Folgers? Sanka?
Decaf?
Did this come out with the orange handle? 'Cause I can only drink decaf. And then he looks. He goes, "What? Oh, I see. We got a funny girl here."
Yeah. Hands the coffee over to Terry so Terry can look and see that. Yeah, sure enough, you got the help written in there. So Terry throws the fucking mug. And MacGyver, always on point with a nice little tension breaker. He's like, yeah, the coffee was a little strong. I'm a decaf guy, too. That clearly wasn't decaf.
Because it makes me crazy!
That would have been good if I could find some of his movies. What's that guy's name again?
I forget.
Okay, cool. I miss him.
So Kelly explains, these guys came in 2 hours ago. I don't know what. They're holding us hostage.
Yeah. Get MacGyver to empty out his pockets. Of course, it's like a handkerchief, a paperclip, and his Swiss Army knife.
And like a matchstick.
Oh, yeah, and a matchstick.
And that's everything he needs. He can make anything out of that. He's MacGyver.
Exactly.
That's where the phrase MacGyvering something comes from.
Right. So now he's being involved in the hostage situation here, and Bud starts showing his true colors, so he starts getting all fresh with Kelly and like touching her face and everything, and she swats him away. Tennyson comes over to be like, you better back up there, gentlemen. And then we have this guy that...
Gentlemen.
Yeah. I don't know.
Kindly, sir.
Kindly, sir, please back away from the lady.
Stop sexually assaulting her.
And then they keep cutting to this guy, like, chewing on a napkin. Little Davey. Just cowering in the corner.
Who the fuck was Dave? I don't even remember him.
He was the pilot. You remember?
Yeah. And hey, if you listen to our last Tippy-Tap, this guy was a member of the satanic cult that was trying to kill Cannon.
That's right.
God,
so many faces. Isn't that crazy? So Tennyson tells him back the fuck up, and it's Dave. After Tennyson has already done all the hard work, Dave goes, "Yeah, please stop, please."
Yeah, he's looking very scared. He's like a mechanic, and he's shitting himself.
But Terry sees this opportunity to explain his plan in full detail. I'm just looking for a plane. I need to get to Mexico. We may or may not have hit up a bank and stolen a lot of money, and we just want to go fishing in Mexico. That's all we want to do.
And then, while that's going on, Turk, played by another familiar face, Jackie Earl Haley. If you're a Bad News Bears fan, you remember as Kelly Leak, the ace. Was he a pitcher? I don't remember. Or he's Rorschach. If you're a guy who's really into weird MAGA shit, you remember him as Rorschach from Watchmen.
Oh, yeah.
And he's looking pretty rat-faced.
They arrive in a semi, and
him and Elias, who would have been perfectly cast at Branscombe Richmond.
This should have been a Branscombe.
He's probably doing a Renegade episode or something at the time.
94 definitely, or at least working on the pilot.
They open the semi. There's a car inside the semi. It's an armored truck.
Yeah.
So these guys they didn't rob an armored truck. They fucking carjacked an armored truck.
Yeah, they just fucking loaded it up and brought it out to the middle of nowhere where they're going to finish robbing it, and then they're going to fly away. This is a perfect... Murray, I would almost go as far as to say this isn't the A team. This is the B team. And the B stands for Bad Boys. This is the Bad Boys team. They're perfect.
I think you're right. They're much like this is a Bizarro Tippy-Tap. This is a Bizarro A team.
Yeah, I think so. So we do see that there's almost like the A team. Two of the members kind of hate each other because Turk and Buddy start talking to each other, and you can tell there's friction there. He's like, "You're a mongoloid, and you probably shot 5 people, and
right, and you're a dwarf," and it's just like they just don't like each other.
I mean, Turk is he's definitely on Quaaludes, or he's coked up or something.
P2P Quaaludes, I think, are downers.
Okay,
so he's on P2P.
P2P, because like Buddy's in the middle of insulting him, but he just can't get his insults over. It's like a Ron Garvin promo. He just steps right beside him, walks by because he sees that Kelly's there. And so he starts getting in there. He's doing his best, what was it, Bogart impression?
Yes, he does a Humphrey Bogart. According to the closed captions.
That's right.
He does a great
That's the
Bogart
only reason
impression.
I do that.
Said, "Hey, sweetheart, I'm going to rape you. Hey."
Anybody got dibs on you? Because I'm calling it right now. All right, so now we're going to get the armored vehicle. We're going to back it out. And as they back it out, somebody, Kelly maybe, points out, "There's a man in there."
Yeah, guard.
Yeah. And Buddy's like, "Ooh, that's too bad for him because I'm going to use this little bomb here and I'm going to blow off the door."
Got the C4.
Yeah. And someone points out, "That'll kill him."
Guyve does. He's just like, "That'll burn up your money.
Yeah.
I don't want that. Let me do it. Let me take it." And as you can see, the gears, they actually have a cartoon where you can look into his brain. We see gears turning. And it's like, uh-oh, MacGyver's got a plan. Plan number 1 for this episode.
Right. How exactly do you plan to get through an armored van?
Thermite torch.
Excuse me. I'm looking around. I don't see any thermite torches. MacGyver.
You might not see it, but I see it right there. And then we get a little voiceover where MacGyver tells us about how racing bikes are basically made out of magnesium, which is
because they got to be light and strong, flexible, like magnesium.
And but if you mix that with a little bit of some fucking ferrous oxide, which of course we know is rust,
yes,
and you light it with you put it in a tube, a pipe, and light it with a flare,
in there like a musket.
You got a torch.
You got a fucking thermite torch.
Thermite.
That's right. So. Everybody had goggles suddenly, and they're all don their goggles.
Right. And Terry's quite impressed. He's like, you're amazing. What do you do for a living?"
"Oh, I get around." That's MacGyver. Is this cute little line there. "I get around."
So MacGyver, he just zzz,
just cuts out the handle or whatever.
Cuts the lock out. The guard comes out, and Buddy immediately shoots him.
This is why I love this episode. I don't know. This is one of the reasons I love it. Buddy
the guy was murdered.
Buddy is so evil that the guy jumps out and he's like, "That was very good work, Mr. MacGyver. You saved this man's life. I'm just gonna rub this in your face. You thought you snatched defeat from the jaws of victory from the jaws of defeat. No, fuck you. I'm killing this human being now, right in front of you."
And to rub it in, he's gonna make Dave and Mac bury this guy.
Yeah. And this is MacGyver. This is at least the original formula, is that he meets people who are troubled, and you get to hear their backstory. So we're going to learn a little bit more about Dave.
Gives him an inspirational speech.
Yeah. So they're heading over. They're being told, you guys are going to dig this grave because they don't want, the flies coming around because they also hate bugs, just like us.
Right.
Summer months, awful. The bugs that come out, even worse.
Who likes bugs?
I don't know.
Frogs.
Frogs definitely like bugs. Bats like bugs. Possums, I think they like bugs.
I guess a lot of people like bugs.
I mean, they're not people, but they're wonderful.
They're people.
Yeah, I think they're people. If corporations are people, then
Kids are people, too.
kids are people too.
Great kid show from my youth.
So MacGyver, of course, he's always assessing every situation. You know, he's like
Always,
a robot.
yeah.
So he looks and sees that there just happens to be a little fire truck in the garage. And he's like wondering, I wonder if that works.
And Kelly, I think Kelly was there. Somebody said, yes, it does work.
It was later on. They go out to the
Okay.
shed and he learns more.
So
But
Dave's like, let me tell you my life story. I was a pilot in Nam. I got shot down. I was a prisoner of war.
yeah,
I was made to dig all my friends' graves.
yes.
And then I was made to dig my own grave.
Yeah. Any day now, I was just whispering, just asking, begging the gods for death. I was living in hell. And they would put a gun to the back of my head and they would pull the trigger and I would hear the click, but the relief would never come. They would laugh at me while I pissed
Turn
myself.
around is fair play. He was doing that to a guy in the Cannon episode.
Interesting.
One turn deserves another.
Right.
Whatever that phrase is.
I think that was it. I
Okay.
think you nailed it.
So MacGyver's like, yeah, that's great. I'm thinking about a plan to get us out of here.
Right.
So he's just like checking everything out. While they're doing that, Turk walks in, and they're counting the money.
Yeah,
and
they're
grabbing the cakes.
Oh, yeah. Because Kelly's
They're drinking the decaf.
They're drinking the decaf. They're drinking the Budweiser decafs, which I didn't know they had a decaffeinated version of the Buds. You got the Bud Lights, the Bud Heavies, and the Bud Decaf.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, Kelly was up like dusting the RC plane because that won't come into play later.
Not at all.
And that's when Turk sees his opportunity because you see a cake just hanging there at, like eye
You gotta
level.
honk it at least.
Yeah, you got to goose it.
Right.
You got to get in there. And again, the friction.
You got to Iceman it.
Got to Iceman that. That did not come up, but it was funny for me. He tried to click his
mouth
teeth,
biting an ass like
Oh.
Iceman would do.
taking a nice.
Was
bite
that what
out
he was
of it.
trying to do? Was he trying to let Maverick know he'll bite his ass?
I think it was like let me.
No, that sounds too gay. No way. Top Gun?
Oh
Strange
no,
movie?
it was no. You're thinking of it wrong. You got your mind in the gutter. He was motivating him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the alligator. I'm chomping at
Next
you.
time, do that to your girlfriend.
There we go.
There you go. So, yeah, and then Buddy don't like that.
Buddy doesn't because he's got dibs.
He did call dibs. I'll give him that. He
Right.
said, dibs on that broad.
Right. And
So
so
there's tension.
exactly. And he's like, I will be taking the lady into the back. I will talk to her. I will undress her. Kelly, of course, has to speak up for herself because no one else there is going to do it for her. And she just tells him, I'll do my own talking and nobody's taking this shirt off. And does a couple Z-snaps. And again, Mac has to show some class.
And not
Mac,
touch the ass.
Mac, yeah. He says, everybody, she is a woman. Stop objectifying her. Let's all show a little class here and get this robbery over with no more death.
And before anything else can happen, we get a call in from a radio, a pilot. He's like, I got some engine trouble. I got to land.
Kelly immediately jumps into like response mode, talking like, everything's fine.
She's a pro. She's just going back into she always does.
Right. And Terry has to call out like, but you did it all wrong. You made it seem like something was happening. Now you have to tell them to land, and we'll have to figure out what to do with this pilot.
Right.
So now they have to figure out what are they going to do with this pilot.
Well, they'd figure we have to fix this fucking plane now.
Now we're going to have to figure out some way to fix the plan.
And Mac's like, well, let me see if there's any spare parts.
Yeah, he immediately comes out, sounds like the control panel. I'll go ahead and rig us up a lever that can replace the other lever. These guys, they don't understand planes at all. Even Buddy,
Yeah.
who's a pilot, has no clue.
Sounds like the flux capacitor's on the fritz.
Yeah. But because MacGyver and his thermite torch, everybody bought him.
Right.
He
I
sold.
would.
Yeah, exactly. He sold his intelligence perfectly, so everyone's buying into him. And Terry's just like, MacGyver, you've impressed me again. Please, Turk, take him out to the hangar and help MacGyver find whatever he needs.
So Bud's so pissed off. He's having a few buds. Decaf.
Yeah,
But they can still impair your judgment.
exactly.
And Terry's like, hey, whoa on those. You got to fly, buddy. I just need to take care of MacGyver. He called him MacGyver.
Yeah. So Kelly escorts MacGyver out to the shed
With Turk.
With Turk. You know, he's got to watch over them, drinking his. You know, he's also drinking the Bud decafs. And Kelly's just like, hey, there is no such thing as a fluximus capacitor. That's not a thing, MacGyver. I know. I was tricking them. I'm going to go ahead and think of a plan to get us out of here.
While I'm talking to you, did you ever know the tragic backstory of Dave that he wants no one to know about, but he told me he's a total stranger? I'm going to tell you all the dirt about his life. He's like, do tell.
Yeah.
And he like embellishes. He makes some shit up. He's like, yeah, man, they stuck a fucking bamboo thing up his ass.
Right.
And he's just like, what are you doing, MacGyver? It's this guy's private hell.
I know. Dave never told me about any of that. Well, what kind of friend are you if Dave's not willing to share his deepest, darkest secrets?
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not?
Mentally, he's not here.
What about this fire truck? Let me change subjects real quick. What's the deal with this fire truck? It works. Great.
So then he's like, it's another idea.
Well, we got to even out the numbers here.
So he's like, I got to get rid of this Turk guy. So he picks up what looks to me like a flux capacitor.
Yeah, exactly.
And even like Turk's like, what's that?
Is that the flux capacitor you've been telling us about?
This is a lateral cranial impact enhancer.
Please say it like MacGyver said it.
Lateral cranial impact enhancer.
Still way too fast. You got the emotion right, but you still just said it way too fast. You got to think about every word as you say it.
Lateral cranial impact enhancer. What's that? Boink. Knocks out Turk.
Yep. Goes down like a sack of potatoes.
And he's like, Act 2. Act 2. And he comes up with a new plan. He grabs some starting fluid. He's like, you ever want to blow up the World Trade Center? Because I fantasize about that all the time. And this is how I would do it. And I think this episode, thanks, Griff, this episode inspired 9/11. He's like, fertilizer, do you have any?
Yes.
Well, yeah, of course. Every hangar has fertilizer.
He looks out the window, and there's a freshly groomed garden. He's like, is that... Did you use fertilizer in that garden? I know you're a good gardener. I know you use fertilizer.
I use fertilizer.
Yeah, it's right over here. Great. There's chemicals in fertilizers, and they'll fuse up with this starting fluid right here because the ether in there. And if we put these together with a little bit of cotton, and there just happens to be a ripped-up chair...
Well, was it cotton? I thought it was insulation.
Why would there be insulation in a chair?
I didn't see the chair. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was just cotton because it was just like a chair.
Fine, okay.
So he rips that out, and he finds some old newspapers, nice tape, Gorilla tape, and he's just combining them all, explaining the whole idea of just, these...
It's like a Gilligan's Island bomb he makes. Too bad there are no coconuts around.
Right. And he's always...
like, this is all you can roll a joint this way, too.
This is...
And then, he makes these little bombs.
Right. Here's what I'm going to do. You're going to go inside. You're going to tell them I'm almost done. And when you hear the signal, you get Tennyson and you get Dave, and you guys come running back out here. We're going to jump in the fire truck, and we're going to take off. Perfect plan.
Perfect plan.
So, sure enough, he throws a bomb, quote-unquote bomb, out by their car or something.
Yeah.
It's basically like a sad little firecracker.
Scared the shit out of my dog, but... Yeah,
it did?
It would, but it wouldn't.
Oh, okay. It's a terrible season.
It wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
But Buddy, much like a dog, he's got a name like a dog, Buddy.
Exactly.
So he was like, what's going on here?
The whole B team, they go fucking running for it. They're very hesitant here.
Jumps on his dirt bike. Why does he have a dirt bike all of a sudden?
Well, they haven't made it.
I guess they came to the place. I guess they had to come away somehow.
They come outside, they look at the bomb, and everybody escapes into the fire truck, and they take off. Buddy jumps on his dirt bike. He's getting ready to rush after them. He's the first one in action here. But MacGyver, he's got that fire hose, so he fucking just hoses them down.
Right.
That was good.
Hoser.
Yeah.
And they take off. They're being followed by Terry and Elias in like a Buick. And then fucking Dave's just dead weight. He's like, MacGyver, what are we going to do?
They're trying to light a bomb because MacGyver, he's like, I can hit them with this. It'll throw them off the road and everything. At this point, we're here. Like, Dave can't get the lighter to go. MacGyver, I can't do it. MacGyver, please do it for me. MacGyver.
He's having like PTSD over fucking lighting something.
Yeah. They finally get it done. Get the bomb lit. They toss it. It fucking blows the car off the road. It like blew a tire or something. Go flying off the road. So it's looking like the fire truck's ready to go.
Until Buddy shows up.
Buddy on his dirt bike has showed up, and he goes all the way around the truck. And Dave confused. What is he trying to do?
Dave's not there. He's
Dave's
in
not
his
there.
own world.
So Buddy turns around, drives straight at the fire truck, and blows out a tire.
Yeah, he shoots a tire out.
They run off the road. They fall over. No one's harmed in this. Kelly is thrown apparently somewhere and right into Buddy's arms because MacGyver's getting another bomb ready. And you just hear Buddy, "Not so fast, MacGyver, unless you want this pretty little girl's head blown everywhere."
And now Turk is woken up. He's pissed off about that fucking cranial impact enhancer.
That's right.
Lateral. He got hit laterally with it. That's the worst way to get hit.
Exactly.
So he's ready to kill MacGyver, but Bud's like, that's my fucking prey. And they're just as they're about to go at it, that charter plane that got called in finally lands.
Yeah, we're back inside the diner now. And Mac, of course, is just, oh boy, stop fighting over. He's always got to cut the tension with a nice little zinger.
He does it well.
Yeah.
Terry comes out. He's like, goes to Dave, don't you fucking tell these guys what's going on or I'll kill Kelly.
Right, you sell this shit. And Terry goes out. Even though he's wearing a suit, Terry talks like he's some kind of southern yokel. I can't wait to get down there to get to that fishing hole. I'm so excited to cast my... And
he's overselling it.
He really is. And the pilot's like, yeah, I just got to repair the propeller and we'll get you to your fish.
Yeah, he's like, it'll get done when it gets done.
Yeah.
And then he just freaks, pulls a gun out. It's going to get done immediately.
I don't understand why you oversold. Like, what was the point of all this? Just come out with a gun.
Because I think originally, the less people know what's going on, the better. So if you got on the plane, and then you can just leave those guys behind, and this guy has no idea. He thinks you're legit.
Well, Buddy was supposed to replace him anyways. They were going to... Oh, they were supposed to get a different plane, though. And then they ended up having to deal with the extra pilot. Yeah, okay. It all makes sense.
I think Terry believes in the sanctity of life, and he doesn't want to take any life so he doesn't have to.
You're right. He's pro-life.
So Elias is like, let's just tie these fuckers up, and then maybe Turks. But no, Buddy's like, I got a better idea.
Yeah, it was
Let's
Buddy.
put Kelly and MacGyver in this freezer.
Exactly. He's like, she's been putting my boner on ice all day. I'm going to put her whole body on ice.
But if you tell me, I'll tell you what, little lady, if you make me feel good, I'll let you, I won't put you in there. She's like, fuck you, you creep. So he throws her in there with MacGyver.
Yep.
And they just use a little tip of a spoon.
Yep.
To keep
doesn't even, you don't even see half the spoon go through or something. No, it's like,
because it wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like resting on the door jamb, and they're like, "Yep,
it's like levitating." I don't know why. Like, is there like a pointy thing at the end? Why would none of it would go in?
So they're in there. We follow them.
There's a lot of spatial issues with this scene. I want to point out.
Oh, 100%. So Mac immediately, he's always wearing that leather jacket, so he takes it off and gives it to Kelly because it's cold in there. And you noticed it.
Besides Indiana Jones, I hate a guy in a brown leather jacket.
You do?
Yeah, I don't like it. Not
Interesting.
Cool. It's got to be black.
Okay. Well, MacGyver's his own man, so he's willing to,
he's
interrupt.
Kind of a man, but we'll let it slide.
So, in order to keep himself warm, he does do his top button, and that'll do it.
Well, he's going full cholo.
Yeah.
He's just like,
he starts telling some good, jokes about being cold, being locked into a freezer, everything, and it's keeping Kelly warm. She's having a good time.
Like he said, he's not only a problem solver, he's an emotional problem solver. He's like, tell me about your life.
Yeah. Let's have a little therapy session here while I'm getting us out.
Have you always wasted your life living in this shithole? Well, I did live in Chicago for a few years. I was married. Really? Yeah. First 6 months was great. After that, it went all to hell. 2.5 years of bullshit.
Right. Oh, you didn't have any kids with this man? No, MacGyver. You shouldn't have kids when you're just two strangers existing together.
You don't want to ruin that body. So I think right on.
Yeah. That line did surprise me. I didn't think MacGyver was that type of guy, but there he is. He is that type of guy. Guy.
He's like, I'm feeling warm for your form.
That's right.
But I got to get us out first. So, okay. We're in a fucking deep freezer because we know this because there's a side of beef, Rocky style. He has to punch it, of course. And he starts devising the plan, like you said. He rips off one of the meat hooks and then undoes it somehow. Super thick ends on this meat hook, but somehow he fits in these tiny little screw with the fucking screws on the doorknob.
Yeah.
Unscrews them.
At one point, there's 2 screws, and then when he's pulling it off, there's suddenly 3 screws on it. There's a lot of continuity problems.
And then he notices a light. Yes, I understand lights get hot. Not in a freezer. Yeah. The light would not be hot. He's like, he sells it really good.
He did.
Hot. And he's like, I got a plan. Besides my dick, the thing that expands? Water. It's the only thing. My dick and water are the only thing that expands in cold. That's how manly I am. I get boners when it's cold. Shrinkage? I don't know what that means.
So let's see. MacGyver walks he gets locked in his freezer. He immediately sees the doorknob. He's like, this doorknob doesn't make any sense. Let's remove it. There is a giant chunk of beef hanging, and he doesn't go full Rocky on it. He sees one of the meat hooks, rips it down, and uses that as a screwdriver.
Yeah, I just said all of this, Griff. Why are we doing it again?
Because I want to go through MacGyver vision.
Okay.
And then he sees the light bulb, and he's like, I need to somehow make a track, a gutter from here down into the doorknob. And I need to make something for the water to go into the doorknob.
Well, he breaks off an ice cube somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, that boiling hot fucking light bulb. It's probably 60 fucking watts.
Yes.
And it's just burning hot like the sun, and it burns
just drip by drip.
Literally, this would have taken hours for this to work.
I think his hands would have frozen. Like, it would have been horrible on his hands, but I think his body warmth alone would have done it, right?
Would have done it better than a 60-watt light bulb.
I mean, the light bulb might have helped a little bit.
Here, suck on this. And then she could just spit in the fucking, the fucking...
The door jam.
Doorknob, yeah. It'd be quicker, too.
So I was talk about having a bad week this week. A couple weeks ago, terrible day. I was just all kinds of grump. And Kayla's like, what are we going to do to get you out of this grump? And I said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to watch fucking MacGyver. Sure as shit. Got me out of my bad mood. But she was like, what is this? This is bullshit. This part doesn't... She did not like this MacGyver rig at all.
It was all bullshit.
This was 100% bullshit. I agree. So MacGyver writers shouldn't have phoned this one in.
Yeah, and if he was going to work, it would take literally hours for it to work.
That's exactly what
because it has to refreeze.
Yeah, exactly.
And somehow it's freezing on the outside. We're in the desert. How is he? But it works. It freezes the lock mechanism. So then he gets a piece of cardboard and wads it up, puts it in the fucking hole.
Yeah, he did that initially.
And then he gets a side of beef and slams it into the door.
It just took one slam. He could just feel the door frosting up and knew it was time to hit it with beef. So...
Now I'm gonna hit you with some beef.
So he runs outside. He sees that they've fucked up the ham radio, so they can't call for any more help. They're packing up. They're getting ready to escape on the plane. And MacGyver, we're gonna learn.
He's got a Sidarian idea.
Yeah, he's got a Sidarian idea, and he's like, I can't let these guys get away. They killed a man, and MacGyver doesn't let anybody get away with murder. So even if everyone else goes unharmed,
even if they ask for it,
yeah. Even if they asked for it. But everybody was like, hey, no harm, no foul. It's not our money, whatever. We'll live to see another day. Of course, was Dave's philosophy on the whole thing. But no, MacGyver does not let any murder go. So he starts thinking, I saw this movie once.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii?
Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Greatest character, Shades in it. Greatest character of all time.
You imagine what MacGyver could do with a blow-up doll, a Frisbee with razor blades...
I'm saying it right now.
And a ham sandwich. He could really...
Sedaris wanted to be a MacGyver writer because he has MacGyver contraptions all over his movies.
For all we know, he probably directed an episode. He probably directed this episode. He's like, guys, I got a great idea. I bet this was it. It wasn't even in the script.
Yeah.
And he's like, RC plane. Have you ever thought about that?
It's mind-blowing. Not to us, because we see so many Sedaris movies, but to the MacGyver audience who doesn't watch Sedaris, this is mind-blowing. Right. Does that plane work there? Yeah. What are you thinking? Somehow he's got all of his bombs back. He finds some tape. He finds...
I don't know how he got that.
He finds the olive oil, and then he...
Olive oil?
It was olive oil.
I know, it was
yeah.
I know. What do you coat... What? Why do you use the olive oil for?
So
I know. I remember the scene where they actually zero in on olive oil. But
and there was matches next to it too, just for fun too.
Okay.
But yeah, he uses the olive oil. He takes the plane out, the RC plane out. There's like some brush over by by the runway. So he takes it over there. He's hiding in the brush. And he tapes up the plane, the bomb onto the plane, and then he douses it in olive oil, and then he lights it on fire. I don't know if olive oil is flammable. I've never tested it.
I don't know either.
But in the MacGyver universe, it is flammable.
I didn't even notice he did that. I thought he just lit, like he had a fuse to one of his bombs, and he lit it.
Yeah, he soaked it in olive oil for some reason.
Okay.
So, anyways, the B team, they're heading back inside. They're getting ready to finish off, the good people. When they start hearing the plane, Tennyson's, putting up a fight. He's like, look, you can't just walk away. If you're going to kill us, because you're going to kill us, do it while I'm staring you in the eye. Fucking end me now. And it's getting tense, and Buddy's like, all right, I'll kill you right here, right now. No big deal. I'll finish you off.
And you're...
Is there an Andy Sedaris movie being shot nearby?
Is your vibrator turned on? What's going on with this noise?
What's going on?
And then it just lands right next to the real plane.
Oh my god, that's near the real plane. It might blow up the rudder.
And then we get a nice little popcorn fart.
Yeah. Everybody in the B team freaking the fuck out. We should just jump in the plane and leave right now. MacGyver's got us beat. He's got RC planes and bombs. What are we going to do? Olive oil. I smell a hint of olive oil.
At this point, what happened to Elias Turk? They just disappeared from the episode.
That's a good
because
question.
Terry and Buddy just jump in the plane. They're going to leave those guys. No, I don't think they even have the money.
No, we see them here. They run, and they're like, we go to a commercial break, and we come back, and everybody's like... the good people are like hiding inside of the restaurant now, and they're devising their little plan. Meanwhile, the bad team is standing around the plane like, we gotta get MacGyver. And so this is where we get into the third act here.
Oh, I totally forgot these scenes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So we're getting into the third act here because they were like, let's jump in the plane. We can't with MacGyver on the loose. He'll fuck up the plane as we're trying to take off. The plane will go so fast on the runway. It's no big deal. Walt has fixed the plane at this point, by the way. So they're all set to take off, potentially. They have the money loaded up.
He's almost an evil MacGyver.
Almost, yeah. And they have all the money loaded up and everything. So they're all set to go. Like, no, we got to stop MacGyver. So we watch Turk and Elias. They're like, I think I know where he's at. And Turk, we follow him. He has to check by the truck. And as he's walking by the truck, suddenly gets lassoed.
Yeah.
I don't know why MacGyver chose to use a lasso, but he just knew he wanted a snare. There should have been a voiceover. My dad used to take me and catch rabbits in the wild. Something like that. Cause
his dad was Matthew from Maniac Killer?
Goddamn right he was.
So he's like, and he just whips it. And of course, we've learned when you get stabbed, you make a noise, no noise. When you get lassoed around the legs, you cannot make a noise.
Right.
So Turk does not scream out. He does stuff a bandana in his mouth.
Turk was wearing the bandana to control his rock star hair. So he fucking shoved it in his mouth. And this is where we see, like a goddamn cartoon, our four other characters slowly like pop up behind a toolbox. They're all hiding in the same spot. Right. And they're discussing to themselves, there's no way, because Bud came really close. They heard his tuneless whistling.
Yes.
He was getting closer and closer to them. And then Elias calls out, hey, Turk went over by the truck and he's gone now. That's some good tuneless whistling, Murray. And so now we've got a discussion between our crew, and they're like, we got to help out MacGyver.
Somebody's got to risk their life. How about you, Pussy Dave?
Tennyson's so artfully doing this, trying to guilt Dave into overcoming his fear. He's trying to encourage him.
He's like, are you going to be a man or a mouse? Do you want to actually have sex with a woman once in your life?
Yeah.
Be a man, you fucking maggot.
This is the kind of, to work into the crossroads theme, this is one of those crossroads where somebody who has certain abilities could put life, grab life by the horns and really save the day, or you'll live to regret it. And Dave is just in tears. I can't fly anymore. I can't do... Well, MacGyver's not going to be able to last that long out there. And I believe Dave swallows his pride, and we see him run off somewhere.
He runs off.
We assume he's probably going to go cry, but maybe he's actually going to do something.
I don't know. I think he's going to do since we're in the desert and we're like at an airport, I think he's going to devise some kind of pincer move, a very Con Air type thing.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
That's what he's thinking.
Like find some kind of underpass with two overpasses or
some
like
kind
hills
of
beside it.
way you can trap your guys
Very easily. That's smart. So now we see Buddy and Elias. They're like, oh, what happened to Turk? He's just gone all of a sudden. Let's split up again. And you go over by that creaky fence over there. So Elias goes, checks the creaky fence. And
the hinges creak.
And he's like, Turk, is that you? No. I don't know where MacGyver was because...
He just was levitating.
He had to be levitating. He goes crashing down on Elias, and that's just enough. He bulldogged him right into the fucking ground.
Yeah.
Elias is out.
All right. Turk and Elias out.
And so MacGyver runs over. Apparently he sees Dave or hears Dave babbling by the
he's
helicopter.
Standing by a chopper, just crying. And he's like... Because Dave's like, why don't we just get the fuck out of here? I don't give a fuck about this money.
Let's let them leave. That's it.
They killed a guy. That matters.
Right.
So MacGyver's like, look, I'll show you what a real man can do. Because at this point, Terry and Buddy are just in the plane. They're taking off. They're like...
Let's just go halvesies and get the fuck out of here.
That's exactly what he said on network TV.
Exactly.
So MacGyver jumps on the tail of the plane and starts fucking with the rudder.
Yeah.
And they're like, we can't fly. He's fucking their thing up.
I can't get a lift off if he's fucking with my controls. Shoot the guy. So we learn Terry is a terrible shot.
He's just the brains of the operation.
Yeah.
He can't shoot.
He put together an expert group, and his job was just putting the plan together. It's not shooting, because he is 18 feet away from MacGyver and cannot hit him.
20 minutes of this episode devoted just MacGyver fucking with the rudder of this plane.
And the plane doing circles, is doing donuts,
and then finally Dave nuts up, and this is his big move. He just lands out the chopper in front of the plane.
Well, come on. He did some good maneuvers, because... Terry is so focused on shooting MacGyver that he falls out of the plane. Yeah. He stands up. He's got his, he's got his.
So great if he had just hit Terry with the back rotor and just blood. They had blood. You don't have to see him getting chopped up. This blood splattered on Buddy's windshield.
Yeah, that would have been good. And then Buddy can't take off because it's full of blood.
Entrails or
and then
meat and shits. This
MacGyver does a little exposition on how when a human gets chopped in half by a rudder, it flings blood at a velocity that can coat a windshield. Yeah. Like this was his plan the whole time. I would have loved that, but no. Dave comes over. Terry's on the ground trying to get a shot on MacGyver, and Dave bumps him with the landing gear, or whatever you call it on a helicopter. Yeah. The landing legs. The legs of a helicopter.
The landing legs, that's the term.
And so now Buddy, he's getting out of the plane to fight MacGyver. MacGyver's winning, so Buddy pulls out a knife. He has his gun thrown out of his hand. MacGyver takes the gun, and very much like a wrestler, he doesn't know exactly what to do with it, so he bops him on the head.
Well, because he's not going to kill.
It's true. He's not going to kill. And, MacGyver saved the day. He tells Dave, you're finally a hero. Your PTSD is over. No more babbling, no more crying, no more Brooks. You're a man.
You get over it.
Get over it. All right? And Tennyson comes over. He gets to cart off Buddy and shoot him and bury him somewhere or something. Who knows what he's going to do, because that guy was...
Yeah, who knows what fucking illegal shit they're up to out here. They're probably a big cocaine dealers come into their airport.
They're probably letting mules in with kids and everything,
They're just like covering shit up.
Exactly. Who knows what kind of horrible affair this is. And Kelly comes over. She gets, she's like, oh, my God, everything's coming true.
She's swooning at MacGyver.
And MacGyver leaves her with, like, a weird line because it was supposed to be, like, endearing, but he tells her, be careful of what you wish for. It might just come true.
It came off very menacing. I guess when you say it in a monotone, like what Corey Dean Anderson says.
So this ending's kind of weird because it's like now Dave is a human. You're dating him. Like it's real.
Well,
Is this really what you wanted, or do you want me, MacGyver?
Well, of course she wants MacGyver, but he didn't have time for sex.
Look at his hair. Not Terry Gordy, Tom Pritchard.
Yeah, Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Dr. Tom, just playing with his hair. All right, that was MacGyver.
Yeah, but MacGyver. Tippy-Tap #1 of this month. Griff's keeping his Tippy-Taps close to his chest. Even I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do outside of next week.
Yeah.
So everybody, just keep listening to Griffmas in July. And I get to fucking finish this episode because that piece of shit finished Forced to Kill the other day. So I know this is what y'all been waiting to hear. Keep it warm.